S.O.A.P.
Welcome everyone to another episode of the S.O.A.P. My name is Daniel, and for this episode, we're joined for the first time by Taylor. Welcome.
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
Now, this episode, we thought we would talk a little bit about a game. It's a little bit older now, but we're going to be talking about Little Big Planet 3. It's something that me and Taylor have enjoyed over the past few years. We played some of the older ones, and we've been looking at Little Big Planet 3 for a bit of Taylor's streaming side. So Taylor's looking at getting into that kind of thing. So, Taylor, where would you like to start with talking about this?
Well, as you said before, we have enjoyed this game for many years. We used to play it all the time, and I love the concept of it. It is just so quirky, so weird, and you just have a whole imagination of just being able to create what you want, play what you want, and how you want to play it, and all different characters, and it's just really fun, and it's not just for kids. Like, I'm 23 and I still play it, so...
What I love about it is that it really invokes this feeling of a parent and some kids creating with cardboard boxes and things like that, this whole environment, this whole setting. So whilst we're playing a video game in it, I feel like, you know, a parent has gotten a whole bunch of cardboard, made a whole bunch of little mazes and toys, and they've got their kids to sit down and go through and play it. And that's why I find this one really good. It really invokes that imagery.
Yeah, it's like a little puppet show. I always used to love doing them as a kid, so having it actually virtually on my TV, it is just a whole different world. It's awesome. And my son loves it too, so it makes it even better that we can both play. Now,
this is on both PS3 and PS4. It is a Sony PlayStation exclusive. Now, we're going all the way back to 2014 for this one. That came out about November, December back in 2014, so we are going back a fair while. Although the other ones we're talking a lot longer. I mean, Taylor, how long ago has it been since we were playing them side by side?
Oh gosh, it would have been 2011, 12, I reckon, about that timeline, when we were playing it side by side and playing Little Big Planet 2 instead of the third one. So it's quite a fair while ago.
Certainly is. So, look, it's a game that gets a lot of praise. It's got a lot to it. There's a lot of creativity involved for this one. And there's so many elements with this one. So firstly, let's talk a little bit about how you play the game. It's a platformer, which means you're running side to side, trying to jump, collect, complete puzzles, things like that. You do get many characters in that. So we talk firstly about Sackboy being the protagonist. It's a little doll that's made out of, I guess, you know, like a potato sack kind of thing. And you run around, and as you go along, you meet a lot of characters, and you get a lot of different outfits, costumes, friends to help you along the journey. Taylor, I mean, has there been anyone notable for you in terms of characters or things you can play as?
Well, see, I love Sackboy. He's been in it from the beginning, so he's always going to be my favourite. And there's so many costumes you can put yourself into to make your Sackboy so different. Like, it just doesn't have to be a potato sack per se. You can be SpongeBob, you could be a knight, you can be a princess, you can be Layla, and you can just be whoever you want to be, really. And you can also create your own characters and your own costumes, and it just makes it so much more fun. So you're not just one character throughout the whole game. That's what makes it really interesting and really fun for me, because I love being SpongeBob, and then I love also being a skeleton as well. It's so cute how you can just change this one character and make it into so many.
Yeah, it's that personalization that really keeps you immersed in the game. It doesn't have, you know, the graphics and things like that other games have. It's about the feeling and the imagination that you put into it. And personalizing how your Sackboy looks is certainly a huge part of that. But there were 3 new characters additions in Little Big Planet 3 over the previous ones. So firstly, we had Oddsock, which is the 4-legged dog-like character. He can run a bit faster, and he can do those wall jumps and that. I mean, Taylor, how did you find when they added a dog to what you could play?
Well, it kind of doesn't look like a dog, to be honest. It looks a bit like a weird frog, but I love how they interpreted as a dog, and you can also, again, change it into a crocodile per se. and it makes it like a little sidekick that Sackboy needs to help him finish his levels. And it's just like, you know, man's best friend next to you going on adventures. I just think that was an awesome touch. It's very cute.
Yeah. And then you've got S.O.A.P, which is the bird-like character who can fly around levels and he can pick up other objects. What was cool, though, I know we were just recently looking at this, is Big Toggle, who you were playing as, where he can toggle into a miniature version called Little Toggle. And that allows you to do a whole lot of things with this one character. Big Toggle obviously weighs a lot more. He can't jump in that as much, but he can weigh down all the switches, things like that. Little Toggle allows you to run over water, jump up higher, all that kind of stuff. I found that really cool watching you play that recently.
Yes, I love Big Toggle and Little Toggle. Big like bear, heavy like yeti, and then you got little light like a feather. And it's just really cool how you have to switch between the two to be able to get past certain bits. And it's just like two characters in one, because you can dress up Big Toggle as, say, Patrick Star, for example, and then the little one as like this little tactical, you know, dude that looks like he's ready to go out into war, and, you know, pretty precise of how he goes about things. So it's like a good match to have the switch between the two. I think that was an incredible touch. He'd be my second favourite, to be honest.
How did you feel about the storyline? I guess the big thing is the narration. I don't suppose you actually know who narrates Little Big Planet 3?
Sadly, no, I don't, actually. He sounds very familiar.
Yeah, you'll kick yourself when you hear this one. It's actually Stephen Fry who does all the narration for it, which is why it sounds so perfectly familiar. And there probably couldn't be a better voice to really guide you on this journey. He does so well with this. Now, a couple of different characters. You've got Newton, done by Hugh Laurie, who interrupts the narrator and creates that wormhole, which sends Sackboy to Bunkum. It sounds very British when I say Bunkum. I'm not too sure where the developer's actually from, but you do sometimes get this oddly British feel, although we had the Russian character just recently when you were playing.
The Russian doll.
There is some like really interesting characters that they've put into the storyline, and they all feel very personal. Like, I don't feel like, oh, it's another same character. I do find them very quirky, very individual with it.
Well, I like how they've done that, being that you have so many people creating a game and they all would have their input. So if you had someone that thought of, you know, a Russian doll, and they probably had a toy and trying to make that into a Russian accent with looking like a Russian doll and putting it in perfectly, where other ones might remind them, say, of their uncle or their brother or their grandpa, and making it so quirkily weird, like how that person would interpret that person that they know to be. So I think there's a lot of personalisation in the game and makes it a bit more homey and more open to play with kids and also adults, because you can sort of connect with it because it reminds you of the toys that you probably had as well.
Exactly. So storyline, it focuses around both Newton as well as Nanopud, and it's these three titans that are going to be unleashed on this world. So there's this big epic storyline that's behind it all, and it's the kind of thing that you'd want to tell your kids for it. I really feel like they really hit that perfectly on the mark, is that I could easily imagine someone's parent telling this story, you know, the kid's like, tell me a story, and here we go, here's the story.
Yeah, definitely. I love the story that they have on it. It's like, oh, Sackboy has to go wake up these three titans to save Little Big Planet. So what are we going to do to get there to wake them up? And you meet all these people along the way, and it's just a really big adventure that you can't just tell it in one night. It would be like a month's worth of bedtime stories to the kids.
So one of the big things about Little Big Planet is that the levels are very open and very different, and it also gives you this world creator, so you can create all these extra levels and modes and all that. But within the storyline, each level has so many different ways of approaching it. It's not just your traditional platformer of run left, right, and that kind of stuff. Taylor, maybe you could tell us a little bit about some of the kind of puzzles and games that you'll find within Little Big Planet.
Well, I was actually playing one before. I think it was Turn the Clock. It's a mini game where you're bouncing from one big clock to another smaller clock and trying to not jump through the holes and not be near a bomb when this clock is disintegrating. So like you're having to really be strategic, and also your heart is in your throat trying to make sure you don't hit the wrong spot. and it's just very intense. And then when you finish, it's like, oh no, I want to try that again. And with other mini games, it's like karting as well. Like you can do races, and it's just really cool how they just did the whole game as a storyline, and as well as little games, so you can get more stickers, you can get more balls, and you can get a higher score and just be up there and share it with your mates.
Yeah, I was enjoying that mini game you had with Toggle, where obviously Toggle can be big Toggle and little Toggle, and you had to change between the two at the top and the bottom. So it's like a split screen, and obviously little Toggle can get through the holes, so you needed to make little Toggle in the place where the hole was about to come up and big Toggle in the other location. So it's about switching those characters around, and each analog stick controlled a different one. So left analog was top and right analog was the bottom character. So there was a lot going on in this one little space between changing which size you were, as well as moving two different characters left and right at the same time.
Yeah, it was very disorientating, and I reckon if I tried it again, I would have gotten the hang of it. It was just, yeah, it's so weird of trying to get your mind in that like certain point where you can actually concentrate, but yet also you can't concentrate too hard, otherwise you stuff up. So it's more about using your imagination and letting yourself go with the game, and that's what I really love about it.
And like you mentioned, collecting stickers and things like that. So each level has a bunch of marbles, I guess they would be, that you collect, and the goal being to get 100% every time you do a level. And then on top of that, there's extra stickers, and the stickers can be cosmetic to do up your own spaceship, but they can also be to unlock certain puzzles. So you may need to unlock a sticker and then put it in a certain location, and that will create an effect like removing water from a level or something like that. Taylor, how do you find the whole collectible side of it? Does it make you want to redo it more?
Yes, it does. If I don't get 100%, I want to go back and try my best to get 100%. With some of the levels, yeah, you need your friends to help with, so it's kind of hard to collect more, but trying to get at least, I think it's 85 or 90% you can get on your own. If I don't get that, I strive for that, and I want to do that level again to get that. And then you're seeing the level again, but in such a different way, because you're trying to find out little loopholes and little ways to get those stickers. I love getting those stickers.
And that's the thing, is that it is a co-op designed game. So bringing your friends along for the adventure is like so important to it. You do need them in order to do some of the puzzles. So one friend may be pulling a lever while the other person's collecting all the collectibles and that for you. So it really does. I feel like it's a good way of encouraging you without penalizing you.
Yes, definitely. It's good that you can collect stuff on your own, so if you don't have a friend to play the game with you, but then also if you want to play a game together, you can have up to 4 characters on the screen, and it's just you're all sharing this level and you're getting through it together. And I guess that's the whole point of their tagline being play, create, share, being that, yeah, you got to share the game, like with yourself, with your mates, with people you don't know. Like, it's a great way to bring a community together.
Yeah, and it's really good the way that they encourage you to do better. The 85% versus the 100%, you know, you always fall short there. There's the no dying, gives you different rewards. So if you complete a level, you can die a lot of times and it won't stop you from completing it. But to get the maximum amount of rewards, then there's no deaths allowed. And there's also like leaderboards as well, so you can really compete with your friends. It's not just how good can I be, it's how much better than my friends can I be. And it gives you a fun method of competing with them to see who's better.
Yeah, definitely. I love a little bit of competitiveness. It just makes me want to strive better and see how good I can get at the game. And just, yeah, comparing to friends like you would with other games. Just you get to actually see it. Well, there's other games like being not just Little Big Planet, like there's karting and there's Run Sackboy Run that's on your phone and stuff like that, which I thought was pretty cool. I didn't know that you could have Run Sackboy Run on your phone.
Yeah, I actually have a copy of Little Big Planet karting. It's essentially Mario Kart done with everything for Little Big Planet. It's an interesting concept. It plays quite well. It just felt like they kind of left it after a while, and it's something that, like Little Big Planet, where you can have all these skins and extra levels and things like that, I really feel like they could have kept going and really pushed that a lot more, because I'm pretty sure that one's only on the PS3. I don't think there's ever been a version that's come to the PS4 at all.
Yeah, no, it's only on PS3 and it's quite old, like it's 8 years old. I would love for them to make a new one so I can create my own kart and race with other people that has created their own and race against each other and just make it a little bit better. Where I don't have a PS3 anymore, sadly, so I can't play it. And like I love karting. I love the racing part of it as well because it's just so weird. It's not like your normal karting games.
Yeah, it's interesting. Like we talked about, it was 2014 that this game came out, and older for Little Big Planet karting. So it's interesting that it's been so long since we've seen something like that. I do know they did the PS4 exclusive Dreams for it, but it's not really the same kind of thing for it. So I'm sure they've got a huge market and it's successful, but it's not more of Little Big Planet, which I think a lot of people are actually hanging out for.
Yeah, no, I am hanging out for a new Little Big Planet, and I really hope they do make another one because it will always hold a little special place in my heart. And I would just love to see more storylines, more games I can finish, and more that I can share with my little man. So, and also to play with you as well. So, like, I want more. So please give me more.
It's interesting you mentioned, because obviously you have a son, and I take it you've played Little Big Planet with him. Is that right?
Yeah, we play it all the time. We more create our own levels, and it gets quite complicated at sometimes, but it's just the joy of sitting with him for a little bit and creating our own, and doing as many costumes as we can, and doing also the mini games and stuff like that. He won't necessarily go on the storyline with me because he just likes to create his own thing, which I totally love that he has that imagination. So I encourage that so much, and I love doing it with him.
Have you found any other games that fill the same kind of space as Little Big Planet does in terms of bonding with him?
Oh gosh, no, not really. Like, he has his own, tastes in games, and so do I. Being that, he loves Sonic. I love Sonic, who doesn't? But, like, it doesn't do the same for me as what Little Big Planet does playing with him. Like, I'll watch him play, or he'll watch me play. It's just that all we'll play together. It's just when we're doing Little Big Planet, it's like you're interacting with it, like the character itself, let alone when you're sitting on your couch. Like, you can drag your other character by the side, so he's pretty much dragging me, or I'm dragging him while I'm just like playing around with him on the couch. Like, so it's also like reality and virtual connection that we have on Little Big Planet. It's so different to other two-player games.
Have you tried other things? I guess like Minecraft being a common example.
Yeah, we played Minecraft quite a bit. It gets a little bit difficult given the situation that we're put in to play it together, but he is always playing it, and then when he's not playing it, pretty much I am. I love Minecraft. I love the concept of that game, but again, you're not connecting in the sense of Little Big Planet. Because Minecraft,
not couch co-op.
Yeah, no, that's what I mean.
Yep.
And with Minecraft, it's awesome for, stimulation and building and coordination and all that sort of stuff. But then so's Little Big Planet. Like, with Minecraft, they're blocks, and with Little Big Planet, you have so many different shapes to make sure that it fits in everywhere, and it's just a lot more coordination skills that are being learnt in the game, and I really like that.
Have you ever considered doing like a real life version of Little Big Planet, where there are cardboard boxes and marbles and things like that, or making a sack boy, that kind of thing?
Yes, I do want to make my own little sack boy. I also want to make one for my boy. I also want to do like a little puppet show and make a maze with it as well. And gosh, I haven't owned marbles in years, and I think that would be a great opportunity to grab like a ball of marbles and get Sackboy to collect them all with my own literal Sackboy. That would be so cool.
Do you think if you were a kid when these games came out that you would play it, say, with your mum or something like that?
I know that I would want to play it. I don't know about my mum. She's not that much into things I'm into, as to why we're so different, but I reckon I would have played it a lot, like day to day, if it came out when I was a kid. And also the fact that I could play with my friends too and create something together with my mates. And it's like, heck yeah. I'd talk about it on the schoolyard, and like as soon as I get home I do like after school stuff, but then I'd go straight on it. I know I would be obsessed as much as I probably am now. It's like recently thinking about making my own Sackboy, I actually researched it a little bit. finding out all the materials that I would need and sort of stitching I'd need to learn again, and all the little costumes you can put together, like taking it off other toys or making my own. And I'm thinking of putting together like something to show people how to make their own Sackboy, because Sackboy is so cute and everyone should have one. So I'd love to share that and make my own, and yeah, connect with other people to hopefully make their own.
Do you reckon you could cosplay as a Sackboy or Sackgirl in your case?
Oof, that would be a bit hard, being that I am not made out of wool. I guess I could, but it's more all about like how you would dress up as a kid. Like if you dress up as Rapunzel or like a stormtrooper even, or just wearing a big box over your head and drawing your face on it and moving your body around and making it look funny. Like, of course you can cosplay Sackboy, it's just hard to do it as Sackboy, because it's pretty much just like a little toy version of a person. So yeah, I reckon it's doable. It'd be quite hard actually. I might have to look into that a bit more to see if anyone's actually done that. It'd be interesting.
One of the things we talked about earlier was about streaming, and I know Little Big Planet for you has been a pretty happy medium for getting into streaming. What do you think about Little Big Planet makes it so easy for you to stream as opposed to other games?
Well, I'd like to say that I'm quite quirky. I still love my imagination. I think I connect with it a lot more than serious games, and I can make other people connected to it as well. Being that the game is quite funny, I think I'm hilarious. So it goes sort of together, and it's being weird together. And you have to be odd to be number one. So, like, I like to be odd. And the game is odd. And I want to put that together. And I think it would work pretty well. Because with serious games, I concentrate a bit too much on what I'm doing. And a lot of people wouldn't be interested in watching me watching a screen and not saying a thing.
And I mean, with streaming, let's talk a little bit about that while we've got you on the show. What's drawing you to want to start streaming?
Well, I love playing games. That is probably number one reason. And two, I want to show people how I am when I play my games. And I know I can be quite weird, and I know people would like to see weirdness because there's not enough of that in the world, and we need more of that. We need more funniness in the world. And me playing games that bring out my childish side of me, I guess, makes me want to show other people that and get them involved in something hilarious.
What's been your biggest hurdle so far in starting your streaming?
I am quite shy, which sort of sets me back just that little bit, but I have been opening up a little bit more to be able to engage with anyone that watches. And I've started to sort of learn to not care, but care. So that would be my biggest hurdle, is opening up my shell a bit, because being weird is not easy.
And do you have any goals for your streaming? Is there anything that you'd like to achieve or do?
I would just love to have people be happy with what they watch. I don't want to be the serious streamer. I want to be the funny one. I don't care if I get made fun of, as long as people are laughing. That's my main goal. I want to make people happy. I want to make myself happy by doing that. And I want to show, people how to play like how I play, not necessarily the game itself. And yeah, my goal is literally to put a smile on everyone's face that watches me.
And do you think you'll hit other mediums? We talk about Twitch, which is streaming live so people can join and watch and interact with you. Do you think you'll look more into other mediums, YouTube, in terms of reviews, specific videos, guides, anything like that?
I think I would later on. Right now, I just am enjoying what I'm doing at the moment. I would like to go a bit further with different platforms and things like that, and doing specific videos and talking more about what I love and talking more about what other people love as well, and getting into the groove of that. Right now I do like my Twitch, and I will look into YouTube and going further with other things like that and doing different types of videos.
Okay. And we talked a little bit about cosplaying as Sackboy. Have you looked into the cosplaying side of things? Do you think that's something that you may end up doing at some point?
Yeah, I have looked into it. I cannot do what a lot of people are so very good at. I like the basic cosplays, and I would be more than happy to do the simple ones and maybe work my way up from there. I do like cosplay, it's just I know I can't get to where other people are. But I definitely would give it a shot as well. And again, if it's gonna look funny, it's gonna put smiles on people's faces, and also I tried something different, so it's all wins there. So yeah, I'll definitely try.
Perfect. And I think that is the important thing. It's about setting out to achieve a goal and being able to enjoy it yourself and have a laugh. We're all flawed in some way. We'll all make mistakes, and it's that fun side of things of doing something, but also when you do fail, you have a look back and you have a laugh and you learn from it. So that's very exciting. Now, your streaming name, you go by Common Bug, is that right?
Yes, I do.
And where did that come from?
To be honest, I really don't remember. It's when I got my PS4 and creating a PSN. I just thought of a weird name before that, and then Common Bug came about. I'm just like, you know what? That actually works. It's weird, but it sounds common, but it isn't, because it's me, and I'm not common. And yeah, it was just a name that literally came to my head. I don't know how I thought of it or why I thought of it, but I did, and it stuck, and I like it.
Perfect. Well, it's certainly something that we'd like to see a lot more of, and hopefully we can do a lot more content with you on the S.O.A.P as well. Do you have an idea of when you're probably going to hit more mainstream for the streaming and that kind of stuff?
At the moment, I'm not quite too sure. I would like it to be soon. It's just figuring out little hurdles and little setbacks or little things I think of and wanting to put that into place. So I honestly don't have a timeline right now, but I know it's going to be before the end of the month.
Okay, perfect. Well, was there any last thoughts that you had on either Little Big Planet or on the streaming side of things?
Well, a bit of both, actually. I would love to have someone with me playing Little Big Planet while I'm streaming to help me get 100%, help you get 100% as well. So it feels like you're a sense of achievement as well, because you did that too. I love putting that thought together and sharing that moment with mates or anyone that wants to sort of join and feel that sense of accomplishment together, and people get to see that and get smiles out of it.
Perfect. Yeah. Well, hopefully we can join you at some point. I know schedules are sometimes a bit harder. I believe you're going to try and look at streaming a lot more during the day, weekdays. Is that right?
At the moment, yeah. Just because under certain circumstances with all this coronavirus stuff going on, I'm out of a job. So I wanted to find something constructive to do, and this is the best way to do it. And I have most of the time through the day to do that, and that's when I know people would be watching as well. But then when things change, obviously I'm going to change, and life gets in the way, but definitely during the weekdays through the day.
Perfect. Well, we certainly look forward to doing that. And like I said, hopefully we can line something up. Maybe we can jump on with you, or hopefully one of the audience members can reach out and jump on. So Taylor, you'll be found under Common Bug. So look it up on both Twitch, YouTube, all those kind of things. Try and find her on there. And yeah, we'll certainly be supporting that. To everyone else listening though, thank you for joining us on this episode. We hope you learned a little bit about Little Big Planet as well as Common Bug. Like us, subscribe, all the usual. You'll find all the links below. But yeah, again, Taylor, thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me. I really enjoyed this time.
No worries. All right, everyone, enjoy. We look forward to hearing from you soon.
You have been listening to the S.O.A.P podcast. Join us again soon for another episode, and don't forget to hit us up on all the social media platforms, because we love hearing from you.
That's it, man. Game over, man. It's game over.